This video will show you how to size a dashboard for display on different devices and for print. To define different layouts for a dashboard, press the Options button in the toolbar. Then select the Layout tab. To create a new layout, press the New button next to the Layout panel. Let's first create a layout for a small device class. As you can see by pressing the Edit button next to the Small Devices class, is a device that has a CSS pixel width of 768 pixels to 991 pixels. To create the layout for a small device class, simply select the Small Devices option. Enter a name for the layout in the Name field. Leave the Mobile Only option enabled to ensure that this layout is only employed when the dashboard is genuinely being viewed on a mobile device. This prevents the layout from being triggered when a user of a device with a larger screen resizes the browser to a very narrow width. When you test the layout on the mobile device, if you find that the fonts are either too small or too large overall, you can set a scale font multiplier that will multiply the font size of all of the fonts in the dashboard. When you initially define the layout, start with a scale font setting of 1. We've now specified a layout for a small device class. Press OK to save the layout. To define additional layouts, press the New button again. This time we'll define a very small device layout. Select the Extra Small Devices class and provide a name. Press OK to save the layout. You can add as many layouts as you want to the list of layouts. A given layout can combine multiple device classes. For example, we could create a layout for medium and large devices that encompassed all device widths that fall into the range of medium devices and large devices. We might give a layout like this a name of medium and large devices. To delete a layout, simply select the layout from the list and press Delete. To edit an existing layout, select the layout in the list and press Edit. If you find that the built-in device classes do not meet your needs, you can define your own device class. To do this, again, press New to create a new layout, and then press the New Device Class button. Here you can provide a name for the new device class, enter a description, and provide a width range in CSS pixels. To find out the CSS pixel width of a device, consult the manufacturer specifications. New device classes that you add are saved globally and are available to any dashboard. While the device class width ranges that you specify here can overlap with one another, when you are assigning layouts to a particular dashboard, you should make sure that those layouts do not overlap one another. If the layouts for a given dashboard overlap one another in terms of the device widths, it will not be possible to predict which layout will be chosen for a device that falls into the overlap region. To delete a device class, press the X or Delete button next to the class name. When you have finished defining layouts for a dashboard, press OK. Note that the status bar at the bottom of the dashboard now displays a layout menu. The layout menu includes a master layout as well as any of the layouts that you have specified from the Options dialog box. The master layout is the original design view of the dashboard that you have created, including all components in their original configuration. To add components to one of the layouts that you have defined for the dashboard, select the layout name from the layout menu. Note that the dashboard canvas on the right is entirely blank, and the left component panel displays all of the components that exist in the master view of the dashboard. The Guides button in the toolbar allows you to draw guidelines on the dashboard canvas to help you lay out components. Keep in mind that the guidelines are for informational purposes only. Whenever a dashboard layout is viewed on a mobile device, the layout will always be scaled to fit the screen of the device. So whether you place components inside the guidelines or outside the guidelines, all of the components that you place in the dashboard canvas will be visible on the mobile device scaled to the screen. The guidelines simply help you to place those components into the proper relation with one another to create a suitable view for the target device. To add components into the dashboard layout, simply drag the components from the component panel into the canvas on the right side. For our small devices layout, we'll add 4 of the components from the master layout. We'll add the Text 1 component, which is the title of the dashboard. We'll add the chart, the crosstab, and the range slider. Resize and position the components as you want them to appear when viewed on the target device. If you select multiple components, you can press the Align button in the toolbar to take advantage of the alignment tools. Keep in mind that when you create the layout, the absolute position and size of each component is not important. What is important is the position and size of the components relative to one another, because all of the components will be scaled to fit the target screen. To preview the layout, press the Preview button in the toolbar. Note that because of the size of the crosstab in this layout, a scroll bar is introduced at the bottom to allow access to all of the data in the crosstab. In the event that some of the text in the preview is too large or too small, you can adjust the font size by setting the Scale Font property in the layout definition. To do this, return to the Design view, press the Options button, and select the Layout tab. Then choose the layout of interest, in this case small devices, press Edit, and adjust the Scale Font property as desired. For example, to make all of the fonts slightly smaller, we could enter a value here of 0.75. Press OK, and OK, and then save the dashboard and generate a new preview. Note that all of the text in the dashboard has been scaled to 3/4 of its original size. Let's select components now for the very small device layout. Select the very small device layout from the Layout menu at the bottom of the dashboard. And because we intend this layout to be used only on very small devices, such as phones for example, we'll only add a few of the components from the master view. In this case, the title, the Text 1 component, the chart, the selection list, and a gauge. Again, position the components and resize the components as desired to create the desired appearance on the target device class. Preview the layout to see how it will appear on the target devices. Note that the preview is fully functional, so all of your filter components and other interactive elements are fully functional. To save the layouts, return to the Design view and press the Save button in the toolbar. When this dashboard is viewed on a device that falls within the device class on which the small device layout is based, the version of the dashboard that will be displayed is the version defined by the small device layout you see here. When the dashboard is viewed on a device that falls within the device class on which the very small device layout is based, then the version of the dashboard that is displayed on that device is the very small device layout that you see here. When the dashboard is viewed on a device that does not fall into either of those classes, then the original master layout is displayed in that case. To create a layout for print, follow the same procedure. Press the Options button in the toolbar, select the Layout tab, and then press the New button in the Layout region. Select the Print option at the top. Select the type of paper for the print layout, whether you want the page in landscape or portrait orientation, and set margins and from edge properties as appropriate. You can set the initial page number from the option at the bottom. Here again, you'll also find a Scale Font option, which will uniformly scale the fonts to increase or decrease their size. Press OK to create the print layout. Note that unlike device layouts, there can be only a single print layout at a given time. To change that print layout, select it in the list and press the Edit button. You can make any modifications to the single print layout and then press OK. Note that if you already have a print layout defined, then when you press the New button, you will not be able to create a second print layout. When you have finished specifying your print layout, press OK, and then add components to the print layout in the same way that you add components to the device layouts. From the Layout menu, in the status bar at the bottom of the dashboard, select the print layout and drag components into the print layout page. Note that for a print layout, there are multiple pages in the right panel, which you can access by scrolling. You can add components into any of these pages. Note that a print layout also allows you to specify 3 different regions of the page. You can edit the header, the content, or the footer of the page. In this case, we'll add the chart onto the first page, and we'll add the crosstab onto the second page. Below the chart, we'll add the range slider. Note that in a print layout, the range slider is obviously not an interactive component. It simply displays the currently selected range using text. This is also true for any other filtering components, such as the selection list, which also displays simply the values of the currently selected elements at the time that the dashboard is printed. To add components into the header region, select Edit Header from the button in the toolbar. Here we can add the title of the dashboard, the text1 component, and we can also add a new text component that will display today's date. To do this, expand the Toolbox folder and drag a text component into the header region. To edit the text in the text component, right-click the component and select Properties. In the text field of the Text Properties dialog box, you can enter any text that you want to display in the text component. In this case, to display today's date, we'll use a special code, a D in curly braces. A second parameter allows us to specify the format in which we want the date to be displayed. In this case, as a 3-letter month abbreviation, a 2-digit day, and a 4-digit year. We can add any additional text before or after this date, such as the text printed on. Press OK to save the contents of the text element, and resize the text element as desired. To format the text in this text component, right-click the component and select Format. Here you can specify, for example, any desired font. For the footer of the page, we'll add some page numbering. From the button in the toolbar, select Edit Footer, and then here again, drag a new text element into the footer, right-click, and select Properties, and for the text property, type page P of N, where P and N are in curly braces. These are again special codes, the first of which, the P in curly braces, inserts the current page number, and the second of which, the N in curly braces, inserts the total number of pages. Press OK to save the changes to the contents of this text element, and again, format as desired. In this case, we might choose to center align the text in the text element. Press Save to save the dashboard with the new print layout. To preview the print layout, press the Preview button in the toolbar. This displays the dashboard in the browser as a PDF. Here you can see that the dashboard title is displayed in the header, which appears on both the first and on subsequent pages. The text element that we added into the header is displayed, however, there's not enough room for the date, so we'll have to fix that. The chart is displayed on the first page, and the crosstab is displayed on the second page, continuing on to the third page. This is a feature of print layouts. Data-bearing components, such as charts, tables, and crosstabs, will expand to display all of their data in the print layout. This means, for example, that a crosstab, a table, or a chart that occupies only a little space in the original dashboard may expand to occupy many pages in the printed version. The footer provides the page numbering at the bottom of each page, and note that the range slider at the bottom of the first page simply displays the currently selected range of dates on the dashboard. To close the preview, simply close the browser tab containing the preview. To fix the header, press the Edit Header button in the toolbar at the top and provide more space for the header text that displays the date. Preview the print layout again to check if the change succeeded in displaying the date correctly. It appears that the date is now fully visible. To save the dashboard with the new print layout, press the Save button in the toolbar. This print layout will now be used whenever a user prints the dashboard.